So what's up in Minnesota? So this is from November 8th, the date of our last meeting, through yesterday. So we're going to do updates on cases that you've seen before from that date range, and there's going to be a video in the first one, I think so. So updates, case number 144214-U took place on September 2nd of 2025. A bullet missile was seen in Glen, very fast moving object. Security camera caught this at high speed. I was investigating it. It was in progress at the time. And here's the still image. And are you able to show, well, yeah, but I'm wondering if we want to show the video too, but it does go by so fast. So the quote unquote object is right here. I spoke with the witness and he was, so with this is an interesting one. I spoke with the witness. We think, we're guessing based on where it is in the yard, it's probably around the distance of the boat maybe, but it could be closer. But it's hard to tell what its size is. We guessed it was probably between the size of a bumblebee and a football. He seemed to think it was further out toward there. I think it might be closer because I'm not seeing a shadow on the ground anywhere, which makes me think it's closer to the camera. Of course, we couldn't do a Freedom of Information Act because any radar is probably not going to catch something that size, especially down below the level of the house. So, and the thing about this case is really interesting. So I concluded this case was information only. So the biggest problem with this case is there was no witness. We can't have a camera as a witness. So he didn't see this. It was his backyard camera picked it up. So with a camera, we can't ask the camera questions. We can't say, how did you notice it? What was the feel like? Did you notice anything afterwards? It's a camera. It's not a person. So, and we're getting more and more camera submissions, which is good. It's good information to have, but we can't come to any conclusion like that unless it's like really obvious. But yeah, a lot of times like that, we just have to go with information only. So no witness. So, and I talked to the witness about it, and or I should say submitter because he wasn't a witness, but talked to the person who submitted it. He understood that and he agreed. So we left that one as information only. Case number 144514-U took place on 10/7/2025. MA1, a maneuver of the first kind down in Chaska. Bill Andig was investigating that. Here's some, if you've been to Minnesota MUFON for a long time, you already know what this is. And Bill came to the same conclusion we came to, and I showed you this initially because we're talking about, obviously we're talking about this circle of lights up here. So, and it's really, so IFO man-made object. Upon analysis of facts and photos, my conclusion is that the witness observed the multiple spotlight display near Mystic Lake Casino at close range. These lights from a large teepee shape. However, from a distance, they can be seen on a cloudy night in the round shape formed by the spotlight lenses reflecting on the clouds above. This was determined by personal observation by this investigator in clouds above. This was determined by in person as well as other MUFON investigators at the October members meeting. This situation has been reported multiple times in the past. Considering the above, I determined this case be classified as an IFO man-made object. And we get that report about twice a year. So it wasn't uncommon to see that. And actually, when I first showed that, everybody in the room, everybody started laughing. It's like, oh, y'all think you're field investigators now. And you see one picture, you know what it is. But that one is, yeah, that's kind of a gimme because we see that one a lot. So the last update, I think, is case number 143801-U on 8/21. Star-like object was seen. Peter Collins was investigating it. And he said man-made object too, based on the witness interview. She's very credible and did see something in the sky. I think that the star-like object with a puff strongly suggests a high-altitude weather balloon or a military platform initiating a planned self-destruction or deflation sequence. Also, the appearance of two silent white spheres is likely related to the recovery of surveillance devices associated with the territorial system rather than unknown technology. So Peter completed that as an IFO. So that's it for our updates. Now we got about a half hour to crank through 11 cases. We're going to get break at 3 o'clock. So let's see. So here's an overview of the cases I'm going to show you. Overview of new cases. I should set up my, all right. So, and it's funny because there's not a lot of overlap, not a lot of similarities. I'll show you what I mean by that. So 11 cases were submitted during that date range. None of them were ERT. So ERT is Experience or Resource Team. I can't show you anything about those. So these 11 I can show you stuff about. Again, the submission date range was November 8th through yesterday. The date citing range was from March 13th of 2025 through December 6th of 2025. No cases of interest. So case of interest is when a case comes into headquarters. It goes to headquarters before it comes to the chapter. Headquarters looks at it and goes, ooh, this could be something really extraterrestrial. They mark it as a case of interest, so we take extra special care. And actually, that Mystic Lake Casino lights, they sent one of those to us as a case of interest too. And we were like, I get it, but no. But no ERT cases, so I can show you all 11. And look, we got 11 different shapes listed. So one had no shape listed, one listed a triangle, one a cigar, 3 circles, 1 boomerang, 1 was unknown, 1 cylinder, 1 square rectangle, and 1 said NA. So no shape listed in NA. It actually says NA. The other one just didn't have anything listed, so that's the distinction between those two. So valet classification. So that's how we categorize different sightings that we have. So the categories are anomalies, close encounters, flybys, and maneuvers. You've all heard of close encounters of the third kind, that's a valet classification. So we had 3 anomalies of the first kind. An anomaly of the first kind is anomalies that do not have lasting physical effects, such as amorphous lights or unexplained explosions. So we have 3 of those came in. We had 1 close encounter of the first kind. So a CE1 is defined as class of objects seen on the ground or at a short distance to the observer. We had 6 FB1. Everything's level 1. Interest. Everything's level 1. 6 FB1. So FB is a flyby of the first kind. 6 flybys of the first kind. Simply a sighting of a UFO flying by in the sky. It's the category most frequently reported, and evidence right there. 6 out of 11 were flybys. 1 MA1. So MA stands for maneuver. So 1 maneuver of the first kind gathers those UFO observations that involve an object with a discontinuous trajectory, such as a drop, or a maneuver, or a loop. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's jump right into them. We got it. Oh, still okay. Got case number 144974-U took place on November 12th, 2025 at 8:23 p.m. A circle was seen, MA1, so maneuver of the first kind in Virginia, which is up in St. Louis County. Their short description, all they said was UFO in the sky. And this is their entire detailed description too. While watching Northern Lights, I noticed a light moving and changing direction and then moved up into the north, disappearing quickly. So Jamie Flood was assigned that one. She's already completed it. She's a monster. She's huge. Jamie, I don't mean monster in a bad way. Don't get mad at me. So that she's already completed it. So here's one of the things. There's 2 pictures on it. I believe this is what the witness was referring to. That's the 2, and the 2 images are basically identical. I think something said it was like a few seconds apart. But yeah, so I believe this is what the person is referring to. That right there. And Jamie's conclusion. So she completed it as an unknown other. So MUFON defines an unknown other. Let's see, unknown other. The category that should be used for an unknown object that does not appear to be any type of aerial vehicle. Examples would be orbs, odd moving lights near the ground, strange floating objects, a strange opening in the sky, etc. So that's what an unknown other is. What's that?
Looked like the Northern Lights.
That one dot did?
Oh,
I think she's talking about that right there. That's what I think she's talking. Because yeah, this is definitely Northern, but I think she's talking about that right there. Yep. So I find the witness story to be very credible, and the photos and videos presented, along with the corresponding EXIF data, which is like data that gets taken with digital pictures that gets embedded in there, matches the entirety of the observation as she described. There's also a photo taken only seconds prior to the one showing the unknown object, and the unknown object is not present in that image. I do not think this was captured in the photo as a lens flare, because the witness confirmed she saw the object moving in the sky with her naked eye. So that's key, because sometimes you'll never see a lens flare with your naked eye, but you'll show up in the camera. So there also appears to be a light track present in the still version of the photo showing the unknown object. Upon my research, I do not find instances of a lens flare creating a light track in a photo. And I would be inclined to agree with that, I think. So I'm closing this case as an unknown other. Witness has been notified of this. No response to date. So, and a lens flare, really briefly, there's a bright light somewhere. Light comes into the camera, and it hits the lenses, and it creates a little light flare. So it shows up in the picture, but you don't see it in real time. Case number 145026-U took place. They didn't give me, so this case and the next one are submitted by the same person. And I don't know if we had computer challenges or what, but I think it's the same date probably. The other one has the date, so we'll look at that. So 12 a.m., date unknown, shape not listed, classification, anomaly of the first kind. And I talked about that. Up in Coleraine in Itasca County, the short description was empty. The detailed description, it literally said missing data just like that on there. Jared Nelson was working on that. And even in his comments, and he said, I can't do a quick close on this. So there's like a computer challenge with this one. So 1450-027-U took place on November 1st, 2025. Same witness. So I'm thinking it's the same case, same witness. Shape was a NA. Classification is anomaly of the first kind. Again, in Coleraine, Itasca County. Short description was NA. They put in NA. And again, the detailed description had literally missing data. Jared completed it. So he said completed information only. So it's a duplicate submission of case number 145026. So same witness, same thing. There's just not really any data there that we can get. So, and of course, if he does contact the witness and they're able to provide an interview or something like that, we can change things if we need to. But right now, that's where that one case is. Case number 145049-U took place on November 16th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. A circle was seen, FB1, so flyby of the first kind, in St. Paul. A short description, I saw a small round white object very high in the sky, saw its outline against the hazy white sky. It stood out, almost a faint trail behind. So here's just a segment of their short or detailed description. Notice a very small round white object very high in the sky. That looked very strange to me. I kept watching it for about 15 seconds, then it disappeared. Mark Toffel right over here, he investigated that. He's completed it already. Man, he's a monster too. All right, let's see. We got he completed it. IFO natural phenomenon. So here's just a segment of what Mark found. So most likely an airplane as the object was observed for about 15 seconds. That's confirmed by her daughter. So her daughter saw it too. She thought it was an airplane. Leonid meteor showers are ongoing, but they would be much faster, even if it was at a higher altitude, skipping meteor. Since there was a high altitude 747 going over at the time toward the southeast, it appears that is actually what she saw. So, Mark, do you want to comment on this one at all? Yep, let me get over there. So people online want to hear you too. So
there's a phenomena where when you have a lot of haze and you have a bright speck at the time, it was in the evening, that it'll form like a disc, like a circle around the moon, but this was around the airplane. So if she had looked at it with us, she would probably seen the airplane with a disc around it, or a ring around it.
Very cool. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Mark always does a fantastic job with his cases too. So very glad to have him on the team. All right, let's go to case number 145099-U. Took place on November 21st of this year, 6:27 p.m. Square rectangular shape, FB1, so flyby of the first kind. Took place at Hendricks, which is in Lincoln County. Their short description was just lights in the sky, So their detailed description was long linear line of light seen in the sky for 1 minute, faded off and disappeared. No sound heard. Lights did not twinkle or blink, but it appeared to move in a straight line in unison before disappearing. We have a video on this. Are we able to pull up the video for that? 145099.
Move this whole thing over.
Yeah, you need to drag that up there.
Click on this and drag it.
Yep. There you go. Now we're there we go. Yep. Now play that. And it's not very. It's only what 23 seconds. So we're doing okay time wise, I think. So. Yeah, I think this is what they're talking about. Oh yeah, you can see the line right there. And it looks like a Starlink thing.
It's definitely moving across the sky. Go get Graham. Go get Graham. It's moving fast. No,
and there's been a lot of Starlink launches recently, and we're seeing, and that kicked up our sighting. So there you go. Okay, cool. 145-105. Yeah. So we did go for, yeah. Okay. So this happened on November 21st, 2025 at 6:23 p.m. A cylinder was seen, classification CE1, so close encounter of the first kind. Took place in Little Canada. Disc, huge, with 700 lights in the sky. A very large craft disc shaped, hovering in the night sky at an angle during busy traffic at night over Freeway Highway 35E and 694 in Little Canada. Minnesota, maybe 700 lights or so, some blinking solid. Hovered for 8 to 10 seconds, then faded into clouds. And I'm curious about this one because they say they reference 700 lights a couple times. I'm going, I don't know. What's that? That's what I'm kind of going. I mean, you say lots of lights, hundreds of lights, but to say 700, I'm kind of going. And yeah, maybe there's an app for that. Maybe there's an app for that to instantly count the lights. So yeah, counted in 8 to 10 seconds. But yeah, so Bill McNeff is working on that. When Bill completes it, we'll revisit this one and see what Bill finds out. I'm very curious about that one because the 700 lights thing is in disc huge. So that could, obviously, if it's a solid object, we would get a radar hit. So Freedom of Information Act, and Bill's good with Freedom of Information Act requests too. So he can, and he did radar stuff in the Army. So when they send him the radar stuff, he knows what he's looking at. So case number 145-143-U took place on November 21st, 2025 at 7:53 p.m. Shape was unknown. Classification was an AN1, so anomaly of the first kind. Took place in Chaska. Straight line of lights in the sky. Starting to sound familiar? I was on my way home and noticed the straight lights in the sky. I don't know what it is, but I do want an answer of what it could be. Does not look like the Starlinks. And we hear that a lot, even when it is sometimes, because Starlink can look a few different ways. So they didn't think it looked like Starlinks, which I have seen before. The time on the video screen is 1 hour ahead. It's actually 6 p.m. during the sighting. Bill Anding was working on that one. And when he completes his investigation on that, we'll revisit that and we'll tell you what that is. And the file they sent us for the quote unquote video was a corrupted file. So it had a weird extension. It was like .ts. And I don't know if .ts is a new type of video file or what, but the extension I thought was very strange. So case number 145-180-U took place on November 24th, 2025 at 5:59 a.m. Boomerang was seen. Classification FB1, so flyby of the first kind, took place in St. Paul. Fast-moving, rotating, luminous object observed visually and recorded indirectly by a dual-camera dash cam driving southbound on Interstate 35E Northeast. Here's just a segment of their detailed description. The rear camera captured a small luminous point over the St. Paul skyline a few seconds after the visual event in the exact direction the object had traveled. The full dash cam video is in my possession and available upon request. So it sounds like he's got a video that he didn't submit to us, but he did submit another video to us. We're going to try to show you the video that he did submit. And I'm not sure we're seeing what he's talking about. So that's why I've been emailing him back and forth. We got to get together for an interview. But yeah, if you want to pull that up and can you show it to him? You'll see it a couple times actually. Yeah, right here how it's kind of flashing. Yeah, you know. Are you seeing it or no? You seeing it? Yep, yep. But did it play the whole thing? Okay. So yeah, so I need to know if this is the one that actually has the object in it or not, because because he mentions it's like a rotating or like a strobe type light, and if when you see it on your computer, when it's really obvious, the street lights here, the street lights right here, you can see the pole coming up. You also see several poles without lights, and you barely see them. And then by that, when you see the rotating light, you don't see a pole till the very end. You do see another pole. So I don't know if he's talking about the rotating light on the pole, which is just a light trying to come on in the morning, or if his other video that he's got actually has the object in it. So I'm not sure what that is. So if you want to go back to the slideshow. So once I interview him, when we talk about it, it may be a street light trying to come on, or it could be something else. We might have another video to add to this. So okay, that's the one I was doing. Okay, so that's the one you just saw. So case number 145194-U. Took place on March 13th of 2025 at 9:15 p.m. A circle was seen, FB1, so flyby of the first kind, in Coon Rapids. The short description was bright light following straight path, bigger than stars. So detailed description was, I noticed this flying from the northeast, flying to the southwest. It was brighter than the stars and 100 times brighter than any satellites that I have seen. I've included 2 more videos. There's a total of 4 videos on this one from the same location, and another from Glencoe, Minnesota, that proves it can't be a satellite because its light is changed by the weather at that time. I have observed many satellites, and they are tiny compared to this object. See videos. And Jamie's completed it, so let's go to the videos. There's 4 of them. Let's start at 145194. So, okay.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, so if you can probably hit arrow to the right, and it might go to the next one, but I'm not sure about that. If you hit your right arrow on the, might hit your right, where's the arrows? Yeah, they might go to the next one, maybe not. Okay. And see, that's one of the challenges when you do the night videos, when it's a totally black background and it's just a dot and there's no horizon or nothing. And then start zooming in out and moving the camera. Well, is the object moving? Is it moving, changing? So it gets really difficult to guess what's happening in there. So. Okay. So it is interesting because it almost looks like a fireball, but you know, again, the camera's moving. It almost looks like it's spinning or rotating in that one. Looks like it's tumbling. Yep. Yep.
What's that?
Yep.
Gina! Get out here!
Yep, some trees.
Gina!
Got some reference, which is always helpful. Yep. 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 Right. Right.
Gina!
Now go to the next one. And it's nice too, because this is like number 9, I think. So we got 2 more. We got about 10 minutes. So we're doing good on time wise. I can relax it a little bit now. I can breathe. I can slow down a little bit.
What is that? Get out here. What is that?
A star behind a cloud.
It's moving.
I think this is one of the 2 that she said is from a different
Maybe
location, I
need to
believe.
Come out here to look at.
A UFO?
And again, that's kind of have that fiery look to it. How long is this one?
It's a star.
Hmm?
Move the mouse over the
Star
thing
behind
and time
the
to pop
cloud.
up.
It's moving, Gina. I started
2
seeing it
minutes.
over the other
Yeah,
house.
yeah, let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. Like I said, I think there's 2 cases after this. I'm not sure if either of them had
Clouds are moving.
videos.
Hmm?
The clouds are moving.
One more video for this case,
Oh.
yeah.
Bigger than the satellite. Sky.
Like I said, we've got some stars as a reference. We can match up with those stars if we needed to. Yep.
There's no flashing lights. So what is this? It's a lot bigger than a satellite. See, it's pretty bright in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think it's a planet. It doesn't look like a satellite.
Well, I think Jamie completed this one, so we'll
So
see her
whatever this
conclusion after
was
we
the
see the
other
video.
night.
So, and she had a
Slightly
pretty
different
lengthy conclusion,
trajectory.
so I always get the highlights of it and stuff. But it's pretty good conclusion, I think. So, almost at 14 seconds left. So. Can you believe we're getting no F-bombs in any of these videos? Usually there's F-bombs in videos. So I'm not complaining about that, but should we have one more video for this one? Okay. You're really getting the hang of it now. You're a master of it. No, that's fine. That's great.
Still have no clue what the heck that is. Seems awfully bright for a satellite and quite
What's that?
large.
Yeah, yeah, because we had someone report this last month too, I think. Oh, I wonder if this is even the same video. But yep, I will watch it for a little bit because I think we got 2 cases left, or we got more than. We got about 7 or 8 cases left.
Yeah, sometimes with the atmosphere, you can kind of the Hope City they were seeing down there, how much.
Yep. Yeah, because this was reported last month too, if I recall correctly. And Anna was on top of it. Anna got it figured out. She determined what it was. And I don't know if it's going to do anything more than that, really. So I don't know if we want to. How much time we got left? Oh, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I think we can cancel. You get the gist of the idea of what's going on with that. If you want to see the whole thing, let me know. We'll figure someone else so you can see the whole thing. So, okay, so give me the control back. So click anywhere there. Okay, cool. So this is completed. Disposition was IFO, identified flying object. That's what IFO stands for. Man-made object. So here's just some segments, because Jamie, she does such a fantastic job. She had all those details. So the objects and videos, image 0277, dated 313, and image 0166, dated 712, moved from west towards the north and aligned with the location and movement of the International Space Station. Object and video image 0430, dated 812, could be seen moving in a northerly direction past the constellation Cassiopeia. The object is identified as being Starlink 31209, as its location and direction travel matched precisely. So, yeah, and see, that's the thing. People think, when they've seen the ISS, they know what the ISS looks like. And they do and they don't, because the ISS has these big solar panels on it. And if they adjust the panels and it rotates the right way, it can suddenly get really, really, really bright. And it's like it suddenly got bigger or got closer, or it can suddenly fade out and disappear. And it hasn't. It's still the ISS, but those panels can be really deceiving based on how it reflects the light from the sun. So, and then we've seen that with Starlink too. I've seen Starlink, and this isn't Starlink. Well, it is. So yeah. So fantastic work. And again, this is just a short segment of Jamie's conclusions, but yeah, so she identified as an IFO man-made object. And now I don't have my clicker again. Do I? Oh. Okay, so case number 145281-U took place on December 5th of this year at 6:45 a.m. A cigar was seen. Classification FB1, so flyby of the first kind, in Thief River Falls. Tight string of lights, approximately 20 in number. Sounding familiar at all? Tight string of lights? Before dawn, unable to distinguish shape, lights emitted by a light blue similar to LED headlights of a car. This is just segments of what they said. So it was too dark to determine a shape. The lights were spaced tightly in the lead, 6 to 8 lights, followed closely by randomly spaced lights, about 10 to 12. The spaces appeared to be correspondent with spaces emitting light. The light was similar to LED headlights of a car. So Anna worked on this one. She's completed it. And I don't think there's a video on this one. So she has determined completed IFO man-made object. There was a Starlink launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base on December 4th, 2025. These would have been able to be seen in Minnesota as a Starlink train and were reported in various social media. I verified this via Stellarium Web. However, per Weather Underground, it was cloudy on the date and time of the sighting. It did become partly cloudy soon after the sighting time, so there's a possibility there were some open areas in the clouds. Disposition sent to witness via email. I'm closing the case with the disposition of IFO Starlink, but will reopen if the witness does not agree and has additional information. So Anna Scott, North Dakota State Director, Minnesota Field Investigator 3. So yeah, so that's the thing too. Whenever we close a case, just because a case is closed doesn't mean we're done with it. If the witness comes back with more information or more information comes to light, we will change the disposition. Because when the Starlink satellites first started launching, we had some of our very best field investigators were closing them as unknowns because we didn't know what they were. Once we found out what Starlink was and how to identify and track it, we had to go back and change all those dispositions because we weren't correct in our assessment. So even though a case is closed, it's never completely done. We're always open to changing it if more information becomes available. So I believe this is number 11, and we're doing great because it's just about 3 o'clock. Case number 145287-U took place on December 6th of 2025 at 6:06 p.m. A triangle was seen. Valley classification FB1, so flyby of the first kind. Location was Duluth. I observed an object shaped like a triangle that was very bright in color moving through the sky. Detailed description, I don't think they had one in there. Or either that or I forgot to put it in there. But Jared Nelson worked on that case. He's completed it. So let's see what Jared found out. IFO man-made object. Here's just a segment of what Jared said. I did look at the metadata for the video. It was taken on December 6th, 2025 at 18:07 or December 7th, 2025 at 7 Zulu time. This time exactly coincides with Starlink satellite 3322 re-entering the atmosphere and burning up as described on many websites that evening. Upon close inspection of the video, it does appear that this is what the witness actually recorded. The movement, color, and lack of sound all point to the re-entry of Starlink satellite 3322. Do we have a video for that one or no? We do. Okay, yes, we have a video for this one. I think it's case 11, so we're doing great time-wise. So let's take a look at the video. Okay, click. And that's what's up in Minnesota. So that's all our cases for this month. So anything that wasn't closed, come back and we'll show you when they are closed, all the closed ones. That's all that we're going to see this time. So that's what's up in Minnesota.
Thank you. Good night.